Welcome back and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hashim, editor of the Michigan.gov. Now we're going to shift to another topic. This is tax season and many people do not know about a credit the state offers to qualified residents to assist them with heating costs. It is called the home heating credit. That is what it is and how it works. With us this morning is Ron Leitz, spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Treasury, and to help us understand the credit, how it works, and what it is. Good morning, Ron, and thank you for being with us.
Morning. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So what's the home heating credit and how it works and who is qualified?
All right. Well, the Michigan Department of Treasury is now accepting applications for Michigan's home heating credit, and it's an important tax credit that helps qualified homeowners or renters with their winter energy bills. And this credit can provide assistance on heating bills during our cold seasons, like we're experiencing, well, kind of right now. It's a little warm, but it's going to get cold with the storm coming and all. And it allows individuals to spend their hard-earned dollars on other necessities. So we're just asking that those who think they may be eligible to apply. And this can include those who are low income, deaf, disabled, blind persons, disabled veterans, senior citizens. These are all groups that may qualify. So it's an important credit, and we're asking people, please check it out, see if you're eligible. You don't have to file an income tax return to receive it. You just have to fill some paperwork, whether in actual paperwork, or you could do it online.
And how do you do that? You just go to the website, where do you get that application?
So there's a couple of ways you can get the application. One of them is you can go to mifastfile.org. That's MI, like short for Michigan, fastfile, all like one group.org. And you can e-file for this home heating credit. So that's an easy way. That's the easy way of doing it. Or you can go old school, go to Michigan.gov/treasury, pull up the paper form, complete the paper form, put it in an envelope, slap a stamp on it, and send it off, and we'll get it and we'll process it. So, and if you want to, and let's say you don't have access to the internet, we also have home heating credit paper forms in limited quantities at public libraries, some Northern Michigan post offices, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services county offices, and Treasury field offices. So we do have those paper forms available. And if you're having problems even navigating through this process and you need a little assistance, please reach out to us. You can call us at 517-636-4486.
Okay. What's the average amount, residents can receive? Is it a one-time payment? Is it a monthly payment? What kind of payment it is?
So we did some number crunching because we were like, well, how much do people generally receive on this credit? And each year it can vary depending on how much is in the bank that we can distribute, that we receive from the federal government. So over the last 5 years, we've had about 277,000 claimants, and that's on average over the last 5 years. And each year they've received the home heating credit with an average of about $193. So we're not talking a little amount of money. That's a good size chunk of money to receive.
Sure.
So, so over the last 5 years, average claimant, which individual filling out that form, was $193.
Absolutely. And, give us an idea, what is the threshold for income for those who are qualified?
So I don't have the income threshold in front of me. It's typically low income, and that depends on what you do and what you crunch your numbers and how that turns out to be. But I will encourage folks to just go online and go to Michigan.gov/treasury to just look up some of the specific details about this credit. And if you don't understand what's happening or how it's going on, or even if you have questions on how you qualify, just give us a call. We're standing by and we're ready to answer your question.
What's the number again?
That number is 517-636-4486. 517-636-4486.
For the qualification, do I use last year's income tax?
So what you'll need is you'll need a series of information. You'll typically need, I think, your total household resources. Now I might be blending that in with the earned income tax credit. So we have a series of different credits that we provide, but what you'll want to do is you'll want to carefully watch the form or read the form and figure out what parameters apply to you. And that could include, it could be anything from looking at your total household resources, adjusted gross income, all those things. Just carefully read the form and you'll find out what you'll need.
Yeah, it'll guide you through what you need to do and how you need to do it.
Exactly. When you look at the home heating credit booklet or information, even online, there are detailed instructions, step-by-step instructions to walk you through this form, and it'll help you navigate through this process.
Yeah. And the worst comes to worst, the state says no, and it's no big deal. If you qualify to get it, if you don't, you just move on.
That's correct. It's and there, you never know what you're eligible to receive. And I also encourage individuals, if they're working with a tax preparer, to please reach out to that individual and ask, hey, do I qualify for this? Because it doesn't hurt to ask questions whether you do
Sure.
qualify for the home heating credit.
Sure. Now, you work with the Treasury. For those who are not familiar, what do you do, guys?
So the Michigan Department of Treasury is the state's revenue agency. We're also the state's investment agency. We're the state's bank, so to speak, in many regards, and how we run state government. We collect taxes, we process taxes. We also administer local government financial assistance, whether it be a school district or a local unit of government. We process grants. We do a lot of bonding too for local units of government to help, whether it be like a building project or some sort of school bonding. We're involved with that. So we do a lot of, we're not just taxes. We're in a little bit of everything, so to speak, throughout all of state government.
Absolutely. Now, the IRS mentioned that they're way backed up, and it's alerting people that the refund may be late. How's the state? Are we going to have any late refunds? When it comes to filing taxes this year?
I haven't heard anything about a backup at the state level. I can tell you that. I know we have our teams on standby. We are going through and processing those returns as we receive them. Now, if somebody is filing their income taxes, the starting point for the state income tax. So you have two things. You have the federal income tax return and you have the state income tax return. The federal income tax return is related to federal income taxes. Then you have the state income tax return, which applies to state income taxes. Two separate things, but they're related. They're both
Sure.
taxes.
Sure.
So for the state income tax return, you need your federal adjusted gross income, because that's the starting point of the state income tax return. So when you complete your taxes, let's say you go and pull up an online service, there's many of them out there, and you go through and do your federal taxes, it'll trickle over your AGI, your federal AGI and your state taxes. You'll do your state taxes, you'll some e-file them, and we'll go through and process it. So they're connected, but they're not, they're independent of each other.
Exactly.
So as we strive to get our returns in the pockets of our taxpayers as soon as we possibly can. And I have not heard of any backup. And I know we are diligently processing tax returns as we speak. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because the deadline this year is April 18th, 2022. We have a little, you have a little time yet. And as we're approaching the President's Day holiday weekend, believe it or not, this is actually one of our peak times where individuals file their income tax returns.
Absolutely.
You get this little holiday going on here, and we'll notice in this bump in the number of returns we receive during this window. So
absolutely. Any tips for those who are filing?
E-file. That's the easiest way. You go through, you complete it online. Your margin of error is reduced significantly by using e-filing. If you're doing like a paper return, there's a margin of error there. There's a risk where you may make a mistake, and that could delay you and your refund, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And as the years have gone by, more and more people are e-filing, and I think at this point, we're like for last year, 88% of those who filed a state income tax return e-filed. So it's getting, it's going up and up and up and up. Yeah. So, yeah. And
The difference between e-file and paper file, if somebody files paper, they're going to come to you, somebody's going to review them, they're going to go into the system. There's a lot of delay. But if they are e-file, they're immediately into the system, somebody reviews them, and I'm sure there's a computer involved in the process as well. And that's cuts down the time for people to get their refund.
Yep. It's so automated. You go through and you start the process and you go walk step by step by step by step. It's really easy when you do e-file it to income tax return. And that's what our taxpayers like, this ease of use, and especially in today's age, you want your refund. You wanted it 5 minutes ago is when you wanted your refund.
Absolutely.
So by e-filing, it really expedites that process and it allows it to go right in your bank account directly deposit.
Any other credits that people overlook and don't really file for that they need to be aware of?
I'm glad you asked that. We're talking about the home heating credit, and the home heating credit is all on its own. That's a special credit, and there's actually a longer deadline for that credit. That credit is September 30th, 2022. So it's not parallel, or it's not hand in hand with income tax returns. It's self-sufficient tax credit, but you can get it when you file. There's also a credit called the earned income tax credit, right? And that earned income tax credit enables individuals to receive a 6% match on any kind of federal income tax or federal earned income tax given. It's confusing, I know. So it depends on it depends on your income, number of dependents you have, and all that stuff. So when you file your federal income tax return, you want to check to see if you're eligible for a federal earned income tax credit. If you get that federal earned income tax credit, then the state will automatically do a 6% match on that credit with your state income tax returns. So it's important you check that out. And that's where it comes in handy to go work with whether you're e-filing, because when you e-file, it kind of walks you through that process. But also, if you work with a tax preparer, ask that question. Hey, do I qualify for the home heating credit, which we just talked about, and do I qualify for the earned income tax credit? Because the more you put these credits on, that could offset anything you may potentially owe, or if you don't really owe anything, that could really beef up your refund.
Absolutely. Now, if I were to do an amended return, if I filed electronically, it'd be much easier than doing papers.
Yeah, it would. When you go through, and it depends on your service too. We can start going down a rabbit hole with these different providers, because different providers are different, and that's why it's important for you to choose a software service that's right for you. We don't endorse any particular service; we support the service. And same thing with a tax preparer. If you work with a tax preparer and you have this built relationship with that preparer, they can tell you the tricks and trades that may be applicable to your circumstances.
Absolutely.
And we like to say too, every tax return is different. No two are the same, and how much you earn, how many dependents you have, what you may or may not be qualified for. Everyone is unique. So that's why we ask that individuals carefully look at their obviously their income, their federal tax return, and then see what tax credits are applicable at the state level, so that way they get what they deserve.
Absolutely. Is there anything I haven't asked you that people need to know?
So one other thing, if individuals have filed their federal income tax return, they filed their state income tax return, and they're curious about their state income tax refund, you can go to Michigan.gov /where's my refund, like Michigan.gov, where's my refund, and it'll eventually take you to a service called e-services. And with that, taxpayers can check the status of tax refunds, ask general or specific questions, change addresses, see the status of letters and correspondence they've had with the state Treasury Department. It's a way where you don't have to call the Treasury Department. It's an e-service that enables you to just do it on your own time instead of having to allocate time to call and be placed on hold. Absolutely. So we're encouraging individuals, just use e-services. We'll get back with you typically within 48 hours, and we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And could you repeat that phone number one more time so we can put it on our website as well, so people, people to reach you for questions about whether it's the home heating credit or any other credit?
Absolutely. So if an individual has a question about their income taxes, we encourage them to call 4486. That's 517-636-4486. And this is for individual income tax, or what some people call personal income tax. There's so many taxes out there, and there's a different phone number for every tax.
Sure.
But this is for the individual income tax because it's income tax season. 517-636-4486.
Ron, I really thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, and we appreciate all you do.
I thank you very much for having me on, and same with you.
We're going to take a short break. Please stay tuned.